I simply asked Scott, what do I say to them? Do you want anything said or not said? And he said, Peach, I just want to tell my story. Tell the truth, bro. Exact words. So, I told the truth, and I think it's up to the individual. Sean's very, very true. I do believe some things are meant private, and I feel if the individual doesn't want it out there, then it shouldn't be out there. But I think Scott wanted the story told. It's his story, and I think to him it's very therapeutic. So let's take some questions on this big Scott Hall issue that I know everybody's going absolutely crazy
You
about.
have a lot of questions on it.
Yeah, let's hit a couple only.
Well, from the picture.
Yeah.
Was Godwin a stiff worker?
Absolutely not. Henry Godwin was.
He Tex?
Tex was good too. No,
he wasn't Tex.
He wasn't Tex. He was Shanghai. He was Shanghai. Yeah. No, Henry Godwin is. Oh, okay. Henry Godwin was a tremendous worker, very underrated worker. I don't think people give him any credit or enough credit. He was a talented motherfucker, dude. He could go. Look back to some of his matches as Henry Godwin, but even earlier, Shanghai Pierce, Tex Slazenger and Shanghai Pierce. He's a great big man, mobile, could fucking bump, is fast, strong as fuck. And I thought he had a good fucking look, dude. He just had two shitty gimmicks. But I thought he could really fucking go. He was main event material if he was given the opportunity.
Really?
He was that good. And I'm not just talking like trust me, go back. People don't know because he really wasn't spotlighted, but go watch his shit in the early 90s. Early to mid 90s. He could go, Would have fit perfectly in Japan. He's like a Giant Bernard type, but I thought he was better. Definitely better. So, anyways, yeah.
Did anybody, HBK or Triple H, did they comment on the situation?
On the Fall River situation?
No, on the piece last night.
I don't know. I talked to Hunter about it briefly in person when I saw him at Mohegan Sun, and I mentioned that I did the piece if he was going to do it, and he had mentioned something that he would like to do it, but he thought Steph was going to do it, and obviously she did. So no, Hunter and I had talked about it briefly, so it wasn't a big deal, neither here nor there.
I heard this too, and this is actually one of the questions I was going to ask you probably offline.
Yeah.
I heard last night that through the piece that Scott called everybody and apologized to everybody. Did you get a phone call from Scott?
Apologized? Yeah. I don't understand.
For the Fall River.
Oh God, yeah. Oh God, yeah. Scott called me a week after, and and Scott's not one for apologies. He's very old school. Like he doesn't have to, not because he's better than that, because you could just tell, Scott's a very unique individual, especially when you have a deep relationship with him, and you could tell when he's sorry for something, and boy, he really laid it on. Like he felt really from his heart. He was in tears to me on the phone. So, but I said, Scott, you don't have to apologize to me. That's what we do, bro. That's what we do for each other. And that's what people don't get about the Clique, and I don't like to really talk about it much, but the Clique, we took care of each other. We were a unit, and nobody else in wrestling would take care of each other the way we did. We would die for one another, and that was proof. I mean, I took Scott from the arena to the hospital. We stayed with him till we was all, taken care of. We had people coming from New Jersey. I had a girl coming from New Jersey, a mutual friend, to stay with Scott in the hospital because none of us could during the week for a couple of nights to make sure somebody was with Scott. So we always took care of one another, and that was a prime example. But Scott did apologize, and of course, he never have to apologize to me. But let's go into the next one. Got a lot to cover today, guys.
Yeah, so we'll make this the last one. But everybody wants to know, were you paid for that ESPN interview?
Oh no, absolutely not. Nope. It was not paid one penny.
Was he?
I don't believe so. No. It's just it's one of those things where you just they want to tell a story, and if you want to tell your story, to me, it's just like any other publicity. It's your life, it's your situation, especially in documentaries. I think it's just a great way to tell them what you're about, and what's going on in your life or a particular instance or situation. very educational stuff. I'm glad, I think people will definitely look at wrestling in a different way, or look at these situations in a different way, about family, about true emotions, and what it does to you outside of the business. Real stuff.
Let's move on to kind of, and I'm going to say kind of,
Yeah.
a different subject.
Sure.
Because it's
I'm looking at the production
as sad.
sheet.
And let's go into Bound for Glory.
Yeah, I wanted to definitely hit Bound for Glory.
Because I watched it.
Yeah.
And you and I were texting back and forth a little bit.
I'm going to talk
By
about
the way,
it.
I love you.
Yeah. Yes.
By the way, just FYI, there's another Dino on here.
Yes.
That's gimmick infringement.
Gimmick infringement.
But what did you think of the card? The card.
The card. I thought the card was very, very good. It was set up well. I thought it could have been a great pay-per-view. That's why I'm gonna go on my whole review right now. I thought Bound for Glory had every right to be a top-notch pay-per-view. We had Velvet Sky as obviously the new Knockouts champion. Jamie, her real name, is a good friend of mine. I've known her since she was 15 years old. She worked at the Rite Aid Pharmacy right down the block from where I lived.
The one on Chase?
The one on Fairfield Avenue, right
Really?
where my apartment was, yeah. So she used to work there. She used to follow my wife around, because she was too nervous to introduce herself to me because she was a big ECW fan. And anyways, we got to be friends the whole time. She dated my brother briefly.
Did she really?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she dated Michael for a little while. Yeah, absolutely. And anyways,
I'm really jealous.
Yeah, right. Anyways, but that's how she hooked up with Jason Knight and got trained through me